Shōmen chūjī yīngyē pōrōni dūsūn sōngjī gāngyē ngōbō nyā rōngsān chū gō ngā sō tuan zip Tsā wā lā mē xiab lā xiāng tsā lō dōsōn rō bō lō nā chū lā yar Sō sōn dū ngā chāndā chē chēn chēn nyā sō mē pōng xie bā jē lā sō sēm chēn tān nyir dō dāng chēn nā Tam bā nām jī nīn tā tsār dā sō good any times, good everywhere, wherever you live. According to the authentic Dharma, the Buddha's teaching, when we undertake some activities, before that we should generate bodhicitta. Oh, today is I'm wearing hat. Bizarre. Sorry. Sorry. But there also is this book, The Word of My Perfect Teachers. At the beginning, there's according the classifications. The first it says to study Dharma, very important, but correctly to listen Dharma is more correct. More profound and comprehend or reflect on the Dharma, and it's very important, but correctly, more profound, contemplate, and also to meditate the meaning of the Dharma. It is very important, but more important is correctly. And then it's like also it's like very important to dedicate Dharma to the benefit for other sentient beings. Very important, but more important is correctly to dedicate. Therefore, and these books or teachings says there is some three things is impossible. Things are during we undertake Dharma activities. And these three things are, we call the supreme three methods. The methods of the compassion at the beginning, that means before we undertake activity, we need to generate or create or to have good attitude of compassion, kindness. That means it's like, may all my activities benefit for all the sentient beings. And may all the sentient beings to be free from the samsara of the sufferings. May all the sentient beings to be happy, forever happiness. Permanent happiness, which is they realize their own potential of the nature. That kind of attitude is really very, very important at the beginning. And then is in the middle is we make more stability of our virtues, and cannot destroyed by the enemy of disturbing emotions. And therefore, we more try to maintain the view of the supreme empty nature. That's we call the non-conceptualization. And when we finished, we should offer these virtues and to the benefit for other sentient beings. That means we call the dedication or dedicate. we dedicated all whatever we think to the sentient beings, then our belongings, body, virtues, belongings, more beneficial, more useful, more meaningful. Therefore, we say it's dedicated. These three things are the really impossible when we be in the path of the liberations. Therefore, and to maintain these three things steady, or just steadfastly, or I don't know, it's like very confirmly, definitively installed into our mind. And then we are doing something. And we are now, what we are doing, we are explored the samsara. And there is a word, it's a called saying, there is two words saying the nirvana, samsara, samsara, nirvana. It's a very famous word. Sorry, I disturb you. That means I need this one. Really sorry. Because my head is cold. Sorry. It's okay? Yeah. Anyway, don't laugh me, okay? And then it's like when we are talking about the samsara nirvana. And it's very kind of funny. Why you say it's the samsara? Why you say the nirvana? If you really to more approach this word, you can't say it's positive, negative. What do you mean positive, negative? No problem. You can say happy and sorrow. And okay, happy and sorrow. Sorrow is samsara, happy is nirvana. And there is a different type of the sorrow. Maybe very short. The sorrow take the periods of maybe 1 second, 2 seconds, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, maybe 24 hours, maybe month, year. There is periods. And during these periods, then it's samsara. Why you call? Because it's pain, uncomfortable, and we sometimes crying, shouting, and making a lot of lamentation sound. My meaning is like, even if, for example, headache, maybe some half an hour, that is samsara. Maybe you cut some finger a little bit. Okay, during is like this also is very samsara. It's pain, hey. And if it's like kind of the small things, something is like unpleasant thing occurring, this is samsara. I think maybe we think, samsara is a hell, samsara is a hungry ghost, samsara is like animal, this is like but this is like big kind of sorrow, longer, like a kind of the really surprise why we need to so long times need to suffering. The butter also is like, it doesn't matter short, middle, longer. Any kind of type of the sufferings is a samsara. And during these periods, it's really samsara, not happy, because crying and this. Then nirvana, it's like when you feel of your stomach, maybe you ate some delicious food. This period is also nirvana, because happy. And it's like someone's to make happy, comfortable, cheerful, to show. This moment you're smiling, and wow, that is also nirvana. And that moment, this happiness preoccupied the mind. In this period, there is no samsara. Then this is maybe longer, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, 24 hours, maybe month, year, maybe forever. And therefore, now we understood this samsara nirvana, happy sorrow. Now we try to investigate to those sentient beings, most samsaric sentient beings, all the time is samsaras, in the bid and the samsara. They all the time catch up or follow up, or it's like chasing after samsaric enterprise or the tasks. And then it's already we studied, learned, whatever we are our activities connect to samsaric, then it's a very much it's embarked or it's a combination of the negativities. Then is these negativities are the cause of the sorrow and sufferings. And therefore we would say it's like samsaric sentient beings. It's why they are more sufferings, because they very much involvement of the negativities. And now we understood more is more, but still we are confused. But we understand more the cause of the happiness, and more to become clearly the source of the happiness. For example, we can take example ourselves, and we become very comfortable. It's a happiness. We got delicious food, happiness. Delicious coffee, and something is like a kind of popularity, belonging, and any kind of like a pleasant, good things, it's make happy. And then we say, I'm happy because I received from the good. What do you mean good? Because you are very kind with me. Maybe you give me a present, or my activity is going well. I may become healthy, wealthy, and I have position. Good things. These things is receive is good, and we also is acting the beginning good. Good cause result good, obviously. And now we understood then this part. Now we are says, let's turn. Until now, we all the time is the source of the sorrow, sufferings way. Now we turn to other way, to search. It's like into the path of the more happy source. In order to turn the happy path, that we need guide. Someone's need to tell to us. Without telling to us, absolutely we don't know how to do. Me is really absolutely true. When I was child, of course, my parents, particularly mother, she received some teachings or the Dharma, her grandmom, and she can't read write, but she has a very good grandmom. And she all the time taught to her, she all the time practiced Dharma, and we some disturb to the animal or insects, and she's really angry. You cannot disturb. Then this a little bit. Otherwise, it's childhood. We don't know what is really cause of the happiness, what is really cause of the sufferings. When we a little bit to disturb to the others, it's like maybe we are happy. And some child all the time is killing and doing is like to disturb to the others. It's very, very happy. It's nature, propensity, or the habitual tendencies. Then it's like top of that, you never give education what is positive, negative, and then the life become more powerful, more intelligent. Then doing negative things become more intelligent. For example, a few years ago, maybe 1 decade, maybe something in France, there is one very famous science. I heard maybe he is almost created this nuclear bomb, the atom bomb. And then it's like before he died, and he understood it is negative, he's very much kind of regret. And I understood now, really to disturb to the others. He's sending the message, any science, please do not create this chemical or the nuclear bombs. It's like this. Maybe he was young, adult, very much kind of the intelligent, excitement, and he can to produce something new. He don't care how much to disturb to the other sentient beings. Maybe he never consider it. Or if I can kill my enemy, or I can destroy our enemies, that is so wonderful. I created like huge disaster things and become the popularity. And then then later more and realize that is negative. Like this, sometimes without education we made a lot of mistake. But now we are trying to give education our own self, to explore our situation, and then it's like maybe to follow. Yesterday he said is the more to follow up the authentic teacher. Maybe these days there are maybe some authentic teacher surely existence, and maybe more follow up they can to tell to us what is the really a source of happy, what is really the source of sorrow, this like this. And therefore we are studying. And yesterday we are in the middle of the quotation, Patamba Sonji's, what he says. Maybe we can to read again, okay? Maybe we can go beginning. The Patamba, he said at the beginning, material objects are like clouds and mist. Never think they might last. Of course, that's you know so very well. Then it's like if we do not analyze the object of the materials, sometimes in this world we like kind of most maybe 90% believe our happiness comes from the material things. Therefore sometimes we call the materialism. And all the happiness come from materials. And in the Buddhist perspective, of course, some like a temporary or some materials give to condition to us in order to be happy. But really reality is materials cannot bring happiness. The really is the border of the happiness, it is the mind. We call the mentalism or the mindlism. We believe mind very much, and mind can grant or it's like install or bring to us temporary happiness, ultimate happiness. Really mind can give to us definitive happiness. Therefore, for example, if we can to say it's like we need to believe each other, maybe it's like I believe to your material or maybe yourself. Maybe if like more is a belief your mind is. Why? It's a materials. Okay, you give me one good thing. This is just too good, but that is never changed like this. Bad is bad, kind of. But your mind is very powerful. If you really like kind of the compassion, kindness, understood my situation. If I'm taking refuge in you, if I'm like kind of follow you, if you are really too compassionate, totally you can save, you can to give such happy and comfortable through your minds, maybe not the materials. Materials maybe is, not sure. You know, sometimes families, parents, or children's relatives, sometimes they each other give maybe millions, but finally they are become enemy and make uncomfortable, almost killing each other. Therefore, materials to making more happy, more close, and I'm not sure that. And therefore, it's like a material object. It's really like cloud and mist. It's difficult to rely on, and therefore, do not think about it. And the same as the popularities is like in echo. Don't pursue esteems. Pursue is a very nature. This is like kind of yesterday we talking is like this. This pursue in its very nature means, of course, the nature of the phenomena, nature of your mind, and also it's like when you receive the echo of the popularities. Someone says like, "Oh, you are so famous. You are extreme, like you are like extraordinary." Someone says, and immediately you need to look at this echo. And look at the sound of the echo, the sound nature of the echo. It is not a kind of things. This is a kind of the echo. It's a popularity. What do you mean popularities? Which kind of the give to us for last happiness? In this world, how many popular persons, like a singer, pop star, and some writers and politicians. Many is like a popular person, but finally they die very kind of suffering way. Then it's like just to have something become popularity is absolutely echo. There's nothing make the sense. And therefore, whatever sound of the popularity or sound of any kind of sound, and the sound itself is the non-existent, it is the sound of miraculous discipline of the nature. Therefore, says like the direct to look at the echo of the popularity. Popularity's sound is echo. The sound, the echo, its nature is completely like kind of go beyond the elaborations. Maybe more to focus on that, maybe more benefit. Then if we can just follow up the sound of the echo, the popularities, maybe become more confused, difficult to reach, and make more uncomfortable like this. And beautiful clothes are like color in rainbows. Dress simply and apply yourself to practice. Maybe sometimes we say it's like, I haven't got material color, the cloth. Material, very colorful cloth, I haven't got. They are like the rainbow. And today I have, tomorrow something happened. And like it's a truth. Few months ago, I made one pajama, wonderful pajama. It's silk. And first to finish it to make it's a really like rainbow. It's a white color, nice. And I put it on, and suddenly I moved something broken. And therefore, that is like really rainbow. It sometimes appear, sometimes disappeared. But you can to say to wear the simple cloth. What is the simple cloth? It's contentment cloth. Satisfied or satisfaction cloth. Whatever you have. Maybe white, red, green, yellow, blue. Whatever you are wearing, whatever you have had, or in your wardrobes. And according that, and you have like a wearing your great simple dress, it's called the contentment cloth. That you can to apply yourself. Then we need to practice Dharma, maybe more comfortable, like this. Meanings. And also this body of our, it is the sac of the blood, pus, and lymph. Do not cherish it. Cherish. I mean, it's like to clinging or to too much to run after this body. And this body is, sometimes this body is excellent, really good, wonderful. And once or since we got this body, and we're riding this body, or using this body, or it's like coding this body, we can do some fantastic things, wonderful things, and coding this body. And but if too much clinging, cherish, and this body, and then there's kind of stocked, coding this body, difficult to practice Dharma. And my body, I want to become healthy, I want to become beautiful, I want to give her nice food, I want to give this body nice coffee, tea, also clothes, and like a rainbow cloth. And like every day we go to the shop, buy. And like when we need to buy, we need money, hurry up to get the job, and won't earn money, won't go to, and like this. Like this, collect, sometimes very funny things. Even myself, embarrassing things. Sometimes I look at my wardrobes, lot of clothes. There are some like still buying, because it's the too much cherish this body. This cloth is not comfortable. That cloth, this kind of to running after this body, then there's no time to practice Dharma. And therefore, reality, this is contaminated body. It's the really sac of the blood, pus, and lymph, and something else. Whatever's coming out from the body, I think it's not very delicious. And even sometimes I make joke dirty, but some things come from my nose, my eye, ear, mouth. Wherever the holes is coming something out, is immediately put in the toilet or wash. It's a very ugly, dirty. It's like this. Ugh. And then it's like this. But still we think I am clean. My body is really important forever. That. Of course, may you say, no, body is like a kind of the deity, but this is on very high level. It's not my level. Maybe it's your authentic practice. Maybe Mahamudra was great perfections. Yes, maybe your view is maybe reach same as the Buddha, but in the low levels, it is our body is quite sensitivity, and it is needed a lot of things. If we are follow up the making the accomplishment of the Buddhist wish, we completely fed up. And in the collect all words, clothes, food, drink to offer to the body. Maybe body says, I need more than that. And therefore, it's like this means like to be simple and to taking care like a clever way, skillful way. And then this body we need to use properly way. And to coding this body, we can to make liberation, to more accomplish our liberation path, and to more collect the positive, to do more accumulation merit. Then it's like maybe we can get more good, more healthy body, wonderful healthy, beautiful body, handsome body like this. Like this. even delicious meal turn into the excrement. Don't give great importance to the foods. And there is one Lama, he says like, and when I eat, I'm eating the great food of the clean, how to say, is the object and the subject. The perceiver and the perceives. And that I'm eating it. And that when you eat, and then is that this means it's the best kind of the avoid to holding the distinctions between which is perceiver and perceive things. And dualistic things, we need to get rid of that. Therefore, we say, I'm not kind of taking care no materials food. I'm not chasing after delicious material things, but I'm all the time is eating the food of the perceiver and perceiving things. That means the mind and the object. The means is like kind of when you are both bring into the wisdom of the tongue and put there, and then it's like the 33, we can to say, 33 dakan dakinis of your teeth. The chum is very nicely. All these true things are smashed, and to put there is straight the wonderful path of your thyroid, and put it to the nature of the stomachs. It's become the united. Unite this truth like kind of food, bread, butter. You mix tunes in the stomach. There is mixed. Like this, and to eat delicious food of the perceiver and perceive things, and to mix in your tongue and the wisdoms, and help by the 32 dakan dakinis, and then is put through the path of the thyroid, and to be in the huge extraordinary expanse of the stomach is completely united. Then you lost the dualistic ideas. And you have the non-conceptualization naturally, and then is your stomach is become the Dharmakaya stomach. Okay. I mean, is that make them joking, okay, like this. Don't give great importance to the food materials, like kind of the food federation, or say, like kind of the eat limitations. In the morning, too simple, too nice. Breakfast, lunch is like kind of the too much, not too less, middle way. In the evening, if you don't eat, of course, more healthy, more wonderful. And it's Buddha's is a rule, is a fantastic. It's like if you take one meal every day, you are very healthy, and also lesser the sickness. For example, like me, all the times hungry, complain food. I need to enormous breakfast. I need enormous lunch. And I need enormous dinner. Then it's a fight, sick, tired. And of course, when your stomach is full, that moment a little bit, and then stomach is difficult to digestion. And also it's like stomach's inside liquid is also, then it's livers, the machine engine doesn't work. And then it's like there is diabetic, liquid sickness, money coming. But therefore, food federation or food limitation is also nice. That is like this. Phenomena arise as enemy, stay in the hermitages or in the mountains. It's also is wonderful. That means it's like, Patrul Rinpoche says, there's one you call the yogis. and bodies to reduce too much connecting to everywhere. And sometimes we have countless emails connected, WeChat, Facebook, and Twitter, telephone numbers. And like this kind of the all time be busy. The busy sometimes. And once is very funny. I have this now I'm more and more fed up this WeChat. Look in our Dharma Sangha's WeChat, in the ZPIs. Someone is sending nonsense picture. Someone said, "Don't disturb me. Why you send?" And someone said, "Too much is I cannot to open." All the time, zr, zr, zr is a message. And all the time this complaint. And if someone's sending nice picture, other ones like competition. Oh, you sent, I want to send. They hurry up. And I have another, there's a kind of WeChat groups in the Tibetan groups. Someone send a message, it's making problem to the others. Like same is ugly meeting times. Yeah, you say like this, not like this, but this, but this. Then finally they argue. And then they distort. And then say, it's like, okay, you can come, I will beat you. And if you haven't got these connections, maybe 1 year, 2 years, maybe you can call once, sending one emails. Maybe it's like, then it's more happy, more like this. WeChat make close, but hurting each other very much. I have one of my families a little fed up. They say, you are arrogant, you never talk to insides. Why I need to? I'm just listening your argumentation, disagreement, competitions. Exactly. When you have telephone numbers, also it's like this. The first time it's nice. Okay, we can exchange your telephone numbers. Okay. Then it's a slowly competition. You didn't call me. Therefore I didn't call you. Okay. Then you ignore. Okay, ignore. Then bye-bye. Then it's become more far. Exactly the emails. Someone is very much kind of the, have time to be in the computer, sending every day lot of message. Sometimes they ask questions, long letter. And like kind of almost Buddha's teaching, 84,000 teachings there. Then you need to give answer. You cannot give answer. They said, you didn't give me answer. You are like hated me. Why you don't give me answer? I did something wrong. I made problems you. And then you need to read maybe 2, 3, 4. Of course, 84,000 teachings. How you need to read monthly. Then you need to all spend to there. Therefore, sometimes what yours like kind of the phenomena means it's like connect these things. And then it's like first you connect the nice, second is become the enemy. Lot of problems. Disattachment, aversion naturally occurring. Therefore, its meaning is like a hermitage in the mountain, means it's like to be a little reduced to connection. And this is the hidden yogi of the body. To talk is like reduce. All the time, chip, 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 like me. And then just all the making the problem. Really. And sometimes it's amazing. In this moment, in the Tibetan communities, there's someone to say a few words. Everybody's make turmoil. That is come from our mouth. Sometimes mouth is very good. Sometimes our mouth is very dirty. Worse than the house of the excrement. And therefore, it's like a smelling, and also it's the spit, how do you call the pit, and whatever liquid voice sounds coming ugly. Therefore, reduce a little bit. And Jana is the hidden yogi of the verb. The mind, as Patrul Rinpoche said, if you want to be yogi, mind is look direct to the true nature of the mind itself. Then you are really yogi. We never look at your own nature. We are very much focused on meditating on the other's nature of the characteristics, defects, want to correct. This person's character. That's your meditation. Yeah. What is the, I'm India. Yeah, acha, tiges. But this is, maybe it's like this. Therefore, stay mounting and to look at the nature of the body, nature of the verb, nature of the mind, to look at ourselves, generate bodhicitta, massage the wisdoms, wonderful life, extraordinary. That's what Padamba Songji says. The tones of the illusory perception tear at the mind. This is like, why you say it's like this? All the diluted comes from the ignorant, the disattachment, aversion, jealousy, proud, arrogant, so on, so on. These kind of disturbing emotions are the needle for the mind. It's a weapon of the mind. It's a kind of, this is illusory perceptions. Perception is the picture in the mind. Like kind of the, like you have the picture of according the ignorant, very much painful. And also it's like the illusory perception comes from our disattachment, aversions. And this like kind of the needle, it's kind of the weapon, it's kind of the tone. It's like hurting to the mind. When these kind of occurring perceptions in is like kind of our minders, and then it's like mind is naturally tear. It's like kind of the crying. And like this, reality externally, it's like mind externally like a tone, needle, weapon, guns, weapons, like kind of chemicals, any kind of the like weapons you cannot make painful. I mean, it's like cannot kill. They cannot go into the mind, never. And maybe it's contaminated, we can to say the mind is a never, ever. But mind itself has a weapon. Mind creates the own weapon, own like kind of the tool. And this is like kind of the illusory perception, comes from the disturbing emotion, and like ignorant, disattachment, so on. Then this one is really penetrate the mind. And then mind is injured, and the blood, tear, past, the mind is, they're coming out, their mind crying, says, but it's nobody's created, nobody's like hit, but mind itself like this. Experience them as the being of the equal natures. And inside, maybe it's like we say it's like occurring illusory perceptions of the disattachment. And why you occur the disattachment? Because you have maybe some object, or maybe you have some, it's like a propensity, or maybe you have some ideas in the past, something to make the cause of your disattachment or angers. And then this can you make inside something like a painful, the mind, this making the tear of the mind. At that moment, this to look at this unification of, not to look at the externally giver the condition, the perceiver of the mind is not both, like kind of to making the equanimity, like it's like a realities. For example, you can to say it's like same as the form is empty, empty is form. Like perceiver is the perceiver thinks is perceiver, And then it's like there's reality, is inseparability, is something, is unifications occurring. Therefore, we call to meditate on the equanimity, equal natures. That's wonderful, like they say. Then is desire and need all come from the yourself. Keep to the very nature of the mind. Of course, whatever we have the desire, need, that is a kind of the whatever you needed, and according your desire. Everything comes from the yourself. What does it mean? It's come from it's the nature of the mind, and the nature of the realities. This is like the translations. Is like keep to the very nature of the mind, and that is like a keep to the very your mind. I don't know, and mind, very mind means you look after or keep your mind. That is like this more elaborated. Why you need to keep your mind? It doesn't make sense. That means you keep the nature of your mind. That means is that the principal mind, the nature of the mind. And of course, that is the truth. In the Buddha said is the universal of the samsara and nirvanas that comes from the mind. Positive, negative, samsara, nirvana, all the phenomena is where it come from. This come from the nature of the mind. And not the mind of the perspective. And therefore, it's when you see the nature, it's nature is the basic element of all the phenomena. And maybe when I say like this, maybe you can confuse it. And I'm come from your nature. You are come from my nature. No. That is like once you need to analyze. I don't want to more details. Nature is permeated each single atoms of the phenomena. What do you understand? Which kind do you find? That's quotations. What I said is the true nature of the reality is permeated, pervasive, like permeated all the phenomena, singers. That means is maybe may you think one, two natures to permeated, or each single atom of the phenomena itself has the true nature. And then you use the two natures permeated, not like kind of someone's mistake. And like, for example, skies permeated onto the earth. And like this, some in the two natures, one natures, like kind of permeated to other. Then is this single two nature, one person or one beings to realize it. Then others need to also already automatically to realize it. But that's you need to more to clarify it, okay? I don't want to do more details. Very important, that's. Sometimes like two natures permeated. Someone thinks, oh, it looks like a God. And two nature and God is same. No, not at all. For example, when you talk about God, creations of the God, said the God created something. Then it's like God created universe, God created the use. Then it's like we can go back to the two nature. Which two natures create you or me? That's my natures created you, or the two natures created me? I'm not sure. I'm not created your two nature. Your two natures created you. My two natures created my. Whatever I perceiver or perceiver thinks it, or object, subject, or it is like kind of my own individual phenomena. Whatever I have a perception in my mind, appearances, object, everything comes from my own mind. In my mind, there is who can say it's my perception? like this. And therefore, it is like everything is samsara, nirvana. Everything is come from your nature of the mind. Therefore, each in this single phenomena itself has two nature. Itself, self-nature. Self-nature is nature means not depends any others and any cause and condition. Therefore, we call the nature. If someone's needed to rely on the cause and conditions, then it's not nature. Not nature. Then it depends to the others. This nature is like this. You need to more details. Probably you can to read the Longchenpa some 7 treasures. They're wonderful, but be careful. Sometimes you need explanations. It's very difficult to understand. Okay, I'm going to more for the, I don't know, this kind of true nature. Yes. The most precious jewel is within you. Absolutely truth is our own potential nature of the mind. It is really precious because source of the all happy everything. It itself is like a stability you can just use. You know, it's like sometimes we say it is a permanent. Why you say it's permanent? It's a great permanent. It's go beyond the permanent impermanence. And this is like kind of the self-entities. Why you say the self-entities? Because this is great self-entity, go beyond the self-entity or non-self-entities. Like there is like kind of a extraordinary jewel, precious, and the source of the everything. That is the in our minds. That is the Buddha he discovered. He said, I wonderful discovered in my mind as peace, universal, ground, and that I didn't discover in the externally. I found in my mind, which is the true nature of the realities, and that is precious, really, like kind of wish fulfilling jewel, and that is the really if you taking care, that is the really the source of the all everything. Do not long for the food and the wealth. We don't look that precious jewel, like kind of the unexhaustible treasures, the inner nature mind. But we forgot that, running after the like kind of externally food, clothes, and drink, like this. And that is like better to give up. This is a lot of talking just to bring quarrel. Act as if you were dumb. Yes, it's a wonderful advice. Why? Because it is better to reduce often this kind of like silent when we are like follow up the sharpism. It's wonderful. You just but you don't need to disturb, you don't need to argue. Maybe sometimes someone says something you want to reply a little unpleasant, you say very sure. But not necessarily. It's very funny that when you argue, your family, your friend, and you argue, what we can do? And the other ones complain to you, blah, 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 blah. Don't need to reply. Just sit like this. Then this person complain. Okay, finally you say, what do you want? And then other ones like very much become quiet. Oh, you listened to me. You understood. I already expressed to you. Then other ones become very quiet. But during the quarrel times or the conflict times, they say something, you need to go over. Then becomes chemical. And therefore, any kind of situation become a little dumb. Then it's like become more nice. It's never is making the cause of the quarrel. Therefore, a little, as much as we can to become looks like a dumb person, it's a wonderful. Really, you want to do talkative, your mouth is urging, want to move, recite the mantra. And also recite the prayers. And like this, it's like when I'm like this, when I need to talk gossip, nonsense, chattering things, my mouth is fast, quickly. And also last time we said it's like etymology, or like someone says something very clearly. How do you say there's one word? Huh? Or articulate, very much articulate, yes. But sometimes I need to read something, what am I saying is they don't hear, like not really articulate, like this. And better to a little bit follow up the shut-upism, so wonderful. Mind is the natural abilities. Naturally ability means it's like the mind itself has some, the facility. Mind itself has such a quality. Mind itself has lot, naturally, automatically there's abilities. It can produce the samsara, it can produce the nirvana, it can make confusion, it can make clearly mind. And therefore there is such natural ability, whatever mind can become, whatever mind want to act, mind can create. Mind has such natural abilities. Don't just follow the dictator of your stomach. That means it's like kind of the foolishly to running the externally, like kind of the difficult to catch things, like a kind of the materials rainbows, or the rainbow of the materials, the echo of the materials, the hallucination of the materials, miraculous of the materials. We are followed this kind of follow and running after become the dictatorship of the materials, and then we say is material dictator of your stomachs. And therefore it's like to look more you that look at your nature of the mind, then it's more nice. And then it's that if you stay in the one place too long, you will find faults even with the Buddha. Don't stay anywhere for longer. That is the truth. Huh? There is one sentence is forgot it. Oh yes. They said, blessing arise from the mind. Pray to your Lama and Yidam said. And maybe it's nice, this part. You don't need to talk about this, A mention of the Lama, human being Lama or animals Lama, we don't know. But Yidam is good. Someone believes the deities, someone don't believe deities. Someone has faith Lama, someone hasn't got any faith Lama. Therefore we skipped, ice skating from this part. It's nice. Blessing arises from the mind. That is the truth. And everything is affection, affection or influence, or good or positive, or bad or negative. These things comes from the mind. Absolutely. Therefore, blessing means benefit, useful, convenient, and relevant things come from the mind. It is the truth, therefore. And then it's like to more, I think, is close to the teacher and Yidam deities. And this means it's like you want to make the perfect mind. I mean, the mind is perfect, but you make more perfect. Then you rely on the Lama and Yidams. It doesn't matter ugly Lama or ugly Yidam or beautiful Lama or beautiful Yidam deities. Like Wikantu says, when you receive delicious food from in the kitchen, and you expecting very delicious food, and then you need to rely on in the kitchen who is to making this recipient to make the delicious food. We don't know. Maybe there are some kitchen boss called the Lama, some kitchen boss called the Yidam deities. And you ask to those, can you give me delicious food? And yourself, you cannot make delicious food. Then you expected them. Maybe you have connection. Maybe you like kind of the give something, food, everything there is, preparations. Maybe you've done something. There's kind of the connections. And then in the kitchen boss, this is a very good climb, guest out. And he or she is every day coming in our restaurant, ask to delicious food. We need to do, because he's a very good, smart person, but he's stupid for make food. And then they give you, they make very delicious, and then they received. And then you can to see how I can to receive this delicious food. Then if we need to eat, but this delicious is put in the front of our table. Delicious or not delicious, we don't know. Then we need to test. And they're coming on the tongue, and the tongue say, wow, so happy. And then we swallow up, and then stomach says, then stomach is full, digestion is full, and then mind is very happy. Wow, nice. Therefore, mind need to receive happiness. Maybe temporarily you should to rely on the Lama and Yidam deities. Okay, that's all information. If you are staying on the one place too long time, as you and me says, you will find faults even with the Buddha. Don't stay anyway for long. It is the truth, If you are to be long times together, like eye and eyebrows, eyelash or eyebrows. It's I see everything, but too much close. I never see eyebrows, eyelash, or how to say, eyebrow. You need a mirror. Like this, sometimes we be very close, too long times, we do not recognize our family's qualities. We all the time is like perceive faults. Are you doing like this, that? Then therefore, even you long times to stay with your teacher or Lama, sometimes you receive a lot of faults, slowly fade up, kind of the fade away faith, devotion, and like this. And also it's like some great masters really is like they never keep student closed. And it's like sometimes very critical our disciples. Mind is very much jumping, curiosities, and lack of the faith, devotion, trust. And then it's like beginning very much interest. Yes, that's nice. I want to follow, and I'd listen to something and something. Then you more and more close. You, in order to perceive the qualities, it's difficult to receive. because maybe it's like something's wrong, maybe in the size of the others, or maybe size of the ours. And like kind of according to our desire or the like expectations, then is whatever others doing things is like very uncomfortable things coming. Like for example, our like kind of couples, the like your partners, children's like parents. Sometimes maybe relation between the parents and children's, maybe parents they're not much kind of the fed up when you stay together a long time, because parents consider it as you are their own child. But children's 100%, surely you stay long timers, then it's like you cannot go outside, you all the time stay there. Maybe you become the adult, you become more boss. Your mother's like this, my father's like this. Therefore, and even the teachers exactly like this. You two more close, first time you follow, secondly, your teacher is going to toilet, teacher's eating, teacher's like this. But it's like more close, I don't know, I lost faith, devotion. It's truth. Like for example, Devadatta, during the Buddha, there's some closes, very difficult to have faith, devotion. Even the Buddha there. And Devadatta, he says, like, you can't see any qualities of the Buddhas. No, we are absolutely, he says. He has one special, is in the behind, there's a light, luminous one. That is like oral, like you can say. That Devadatta says, I can't see Buddha has some qualities. Thousands, millions people like beings, they perceive good qualities Buddha, but he has kind of hesitation, jealousy, competition, and according that, Buddha he can't see as Buddha, like sand of forth. Therefore, sometimes to long times together, not very good. Some is like you something to be united, then no choice. And says like ugly or not ugly, there's you need to accept it. Because you united. Otherwise, it's like some friendship, family, and the good, and even the teacher and students, too close, too long timers, very risky, dangerous. And therefore, it's little bit to make the distance better. Even the sanghas, it's the first time it's like kind of the, oh, I love you, you love me, it's very close, smiling, making you. And slowly, then each other, like kind of discovered kind of the faults, defects. And then it's a little bit the way of the talking and behind and but this person, that person. Then criticism automatically occurring. Then it's slowly fed up each other, finally become the enemies. And therefore, if good friend, families, when in Tibet we have, if you want to have a good relation with your relatives, do not be close. If you're too much close, they all the times problems. And therefore it will make distance. This is very good advice. And then you should act in a humble way, abundant pride in your status. It's like this. Yesterday there's someone asked to me, how about the 7 type of the pride, arrogant. And therefore it's like to take in the low profile or the humble way is antidote for our arrogant, proud. And therefore in your status and in your mind, in your task, very much is important to have antidote for the pride. All the times to take the like kind of the humble ways. Sometimes like we need to be challenges. Like sometimes says like in the middle of the people, or it's like something. I like want to go more high, more important place. Like according the mind, I want that, I want like this. Then you need to be challenged. For example, says like how to say it's like Then it's like, okay, there's one make the delicious cake. Oh, very delicious cake. And then sometimes our mind is first time go to the which part to take. And to got it, very happy. Yeah, okay, I took paste, but you most like this, I got it. And then it's like this, people automatically who's first, a little running. And of course, educated areas, maybe it's like, okay, kind of the crowd, like kind of the line. But also there are who's first times. But then is in this situation, in your mind, you need to be challenge our minds. Okay, mind, you want to be the first. Now I'm telling to you, go to in the end of the crowd, like kind of queue. Like this. You know, in the word of my perfect teacher, they said, maybe not this chapter, but which chapter, I'm not sure. I think maybe first chapter something. There is one geshe, like a monk. He went in the benefactors' pujas. There's maybe a lot of monks they making puja. And then there's like a sponsors, like a kind of make a beautiful, delicious yokuts. And of course, like everybody, this style, the first time yokut is coming up and to down. They never service from up to down to up. And then the yokuts, he saw the lot of like cream and these things. In Tibet, it's like best yokuts has cream, very thick. And this part is more delicious, like kind of cream, like butter. And he saw this yokuts and then went, now surely they received the money. Maybe they're quite a long line. There are many monks. Surely I can't get. And then he was very strange, he's nervous. And then the services are coming, and he thought, I'm like kind of strange, like a proud, and also like too clinging to strong like this. And then he's want against the mind. Mind, you already took yokuts, you cannot get to this. He cup is upside down, sit there, and the servers coming, would you like yokuts? No, mind is already ate it. And then like this, also it's like you remember, there's one monk, he went to, same as puja, and then this the sponsors' families has a lot of tea, you know that. And then this all the family, everybody go out busy, something, and he looked the tea sack. There are a lot of tea, but in his hermitage place, in the retreat place, there's no tea. He thought, maybe why not? I will take a little bit tea, because their families plenty tea. But he put certainly this, and then he recognized, my mind is like this. Now I need, and then he said, better to accord. He just don't take to hand. To call the comes. They come around, maybe they think he's sick, something. Oh, what happens? Please, can you cut my arm in this? Why is it? Because I'm rubbing in your, it's like teeth. Then says, my mind is wanted to rob or to stolen your teeth. And like this, then is practitioners to be the challenge of the mind itself. And therefore, it's like you put in your statues. It's like really to take in the humble way. But it's like, maybe you have some qualities. Maybe you are educated. You are such a good quality, handsome, busy. But it's like mind is wanted to go to more top. It's like kind of, why not? I'm most important. You are then you challenge. Take a more humble way. You are just nothing kind of, you telling to your mind is to say, then mind is, you are ugly. There's no true person, but mind is ugly mind. Quarreling, how do you say, argued. Then is the mind is giving, is education to mind. Mind running the mind is can find mind itself. Therefore, it is very important like this. And you won't be here for long. Practice no without daily. Now, without delays. And of course, it's like you cannot to stay long times here in this life, 100%. And then it's like you don't need to thinking about, oh, I'm forever to stay here. I'm like deathless. I'm a permanent, like this. Then you're thinking like this, is your practice dharma all the time postponed. I'm definitely here. I will practice maybe next month, next year, like this, all the time postpone. Therefore, you should to understand the uncertainty of the impermanent. When I need to leave from here, I cannot stay here long time. I should to practice right now, without delays. And you are like a traveler in this life. Don't build a castle where you are just resting a while. It's absolutely sometimes true. For example, in the Patrul Rinpoche's areas, there is one called the retreat place. Some his tradition, many centers, they never built. Many great masters, they have yak tent, and there's some small shuttle temporary. When they disappear, there's nothing kind of like this. It's like just short periods wherever you live, better to simple way, like Shajizenka Rinpoche's. And you don't need to be doing, it's like a kind of become the pigeon, or it is like kind of all the time preparation, and your life is absolutely run out. And therefore, while you wherever you rest, maybe do not create a castle. If you are simple shuttle, simple like these things to be satisfied. And you action, no action will be of the any help. This kind of that samsaric action, endless action, nonsense connected to the negative things. And therefore, this maybe is like put the end, and you need to put another accomplishment into the practice of the Dharma. That is maybe and that is make more sense, that make me more advantageous. And you never know when your body will become warm food or simply disappeared. Don't get distracted by this life's appearances. And yet it's like truth. Our own body, it is the food for the warm food where we put in the ground, or when we do like this is like really to food for the kind of the worm or vulture, birds, animals, insects. It's just really the food for their food. How long we can to use this? And simply it's like separation, or separation when we don't know, disappearing. And today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, this month, next month, there's no certainty. The disappearing of body. Don't get distracted by this life appearances, this life's interesting, chasing after popularity or chasing like kind of the wealth and kind of food, clothes, all the times in our lives, like things. And therefore, it is the simple life to like kind of the using our body is very important correctly with it. Friend and relations are like little bird on the branches. Do not get attached to them. So absolutely, your friends, families, and all your societies, it's be together to have relationship is like kind of the little bird's nest on the tree of the branches. Of course, there is like a slowly time is coming, one by one is a flight away. And there's never forever stay in this nest. And do not get attached to them. And like kind of this is my family, this is my lover, this is forever mine. And then it's the holding, like says, this is my forever. To have such attachment, clinging, is not very good. When we are taking care of our families through the compassion, kindness, not through the desire attachment, I already many times told you, is through the attachment, clinging, is not really valuable, not very important. Through your compassions to taking care of your family, to others, then it's a wonderful. And when you be together, you never quarrel, never fighting, respect, help, support each other. When there is a separations coming, and of course this is like kind of the families like a kind of the bird's nest on the branches. And when they disappeared one by one, we don't know. And disappeared, they fly it, they never come back into the nest. Maybe only sometimes the parents come back, but parents come back, or the other children, they never. Sometimes also birds changing the nest. Next year, the parents come back this nest, I'm not sure. Like this, do not the attachments. And confident faith is like an excellent foundation. Don't leave it is in the refused of negative emotions. And of course, the faith is like kind of the excellent foundation, like a ground. If you have a very nice ground, like a field place, and there is like kind of you can to make the crop or like agriculture. If there's excellent ground, like foundation, if you have nice earth, soil, everything, so whatever there's granting or make field agricultures, they grow up very, very wonderful way. Therefore, in our minds, in order to receive the teaching of the Buddha, or it is like Dharma, it's very important to have the faith. The faith is the excellent foundation in order to build or soil or make agriculture of the Dharma teachings. And then it's like the education of Dharma. And therefore, it's like the faith. Of course, there's different type of the faith. Faith of desire, faith of the kind of enthusiastic, the faith of the irreversible faith. Trust into the Buddha, Dharma, Sanghas, or your own spiritual teacher if you find a qualifier. And very important, then rely on them, and then we can to have such kind of the harvest of the knowledge, realizations into our mind. Therefore say, don't leave it is the refuge of the negative. That means refuse. Sometimes our ignorant, jealousy, stupidity, proud, arrogant, sometimes they refuse it. And Buddha, I don't know. Dharma, Sangha, Lama, what? Sometimes we say, which you mean? These animals, like this. And like kind of follow many years. Sometimes this our Western very much this in negative. I'm considering, okay? For example, when you look at the history of the science, and there's one Greek great science, I forgot it, but he has one student, is very learned, and then finally he criticized to his teacher. And he discovered, but my discovery is more better than that. And that says like a kind of the criticize his own teacher. And he has another student, they grow up, they criticize to him. Like therefore it's like when we go to the universe or the schools, listen to the teacher say something, not very much appreciate. And we say it's like, oh, they did the job. And I'm learning myself, it's like nice things. And yeah, this like this, what? And where, for example, Dharma students, sometimes we can do say, we received our own individual, like peerless teachers. Maybe we received the teaching of the sutta, thanta, instruction, transmission. There may be certainly some we have had. Some it is like kind of the knowledges. 10:30, yes. And knowledges. And then it's like we become advanced scholar or something said, yeah, I studied, I did, I naturally almost I understood. Your teacher, this teacher is very stupid. Yes, sometimes like this. So I met once is a person, he speaks perfect Tibetan. And then it's like says like, I know that his teacher, he has several different teachers, Tibetan language teacher. And then we was together someplace, and someone said, you speak perfect Tibetan. Where did you study it? Yeah, I studied internet, studied this myself. It's like, yeah. You haven't got teachers? Yeah, not really. And it's like kind of from most time books, it is a complete liar. Someone's teach to their like a monthly, weekly, and like this you already received these teachings. They not need to just mention that. It is like kind of, I studied myself. I know the grammar. Hey, wait, from book and from the internet. And it's almost not really the mentioned your own teachers. It's a very kind of, for me, it's like, for example, in Tibet, if you are like basically someone's taught to you alphabet, it's like more than that. Yeah, first my teachers, like can you call the teacher? And the one is later, it's also is like kind of the respect very, very much. And therefore sometimes our negative emotions, it's like easily to kind of the reject, refuse it. And they're losing the faith, devotions. Then is of course in the suttas perspective is okay, but authentic some perspective, Mantrayana's perspective, without a devotion, without relying on the teacher, impossible to realize the nature realities. Therefore, we need to taking care our disturbing notions. Don't leave it in the refusal of the negative emotions. This human form is like a precious, which granting gem. Do not hand it to your enemy, hated. And like kind of this body, of course, it is a precious body, human body. And this one is like absolutely. Our body is yes, it's I'm in Tibetan reading. It's like Mulun the Yejin Rinpoche said normally Lu is body is coming front, but Yejin Rinpoche don't have Mulu say okay. And this human form is like a precious wishing grand gems. It is a truth, this our own body. And also is we already studied the first chapter, difficult to get, how to say, found the human existence. And that when we quoting these chapters or this through the analysis of the human body, we understood this excellent human body, really precious wish granting gems. Through this, according to these bodies, wonderful we can to do very, very important things. And like this, sometimes we are complain. We have a beautiful body, healthy, everything. But since I'm ugly, I'm nothing. What do you mean nothing? There is one person to speak perfect English, and then it's like someone says he hasn't got any confidence. Do you speak English? No, nothing. No, nothing is English. No, nothing. What do you mean, sir? I'm saying no, nothing. I don't speak English, nothing. But you speak English, nothing. Like this, then it's like this. And you say it's like, maybe other human bodies is precious. Maybe wish granted, like a granted gem, but my body is not. And like this, in the like kind of in English idioms, like how do you say it? All the time you perceive, and the other neighborhood or others' garden is green. You never see the green in your gardens. This I don't know this how to say that properly. And that is like kind of you all the time is others. It looks like okay, but your own precious, your own gem, your own like extraordinaries. We never appreciate. Therefore, it is like kind of your kind of enemy of the hatred. It's like kind of if you hate, maybe you destroy yourself, you destroy to the others. Maybe you destroyed all the happiness of this life and the next life. And therefore, it's a very, very important and to appreciate our own bodies. Samaya is like a watchtower. Don't contaminate it with faults. And watch tower. Samaya is like a watchtower. Oh yes. Dans sokak karba. Oh yeah. And this one is like a kind of easily to kind of disappear, easily something damage, like this. And do not make the contaminate with your thoughts. And like a kind of samaya. Samaya means it's like when we take any commitment. And this samaya, not only you receive some empowerment or something, this any kind of samaya, you take the vow of the refugee, or individual liberation vow, or bodhicitta vows, and any kind of the vows of the secret mantrayanas. Then there is some certain kind of the samaya or the commitment. And this one is like easily fell down, easily damaged, easily kind of destroyed, looks like watchtowers. And it's be easily contaminated. Therefore, it's like do not make contaminate. Once you make the contaminated, like your the samayas, then this is the accomplishment, your siddhi, your like kind of the result, some successful is very difficult. With the Vajramast is still among you, don't let the Dharma drop into laziness. And this is like Vajramast, maybe qualified teacher, when you be together. And then it's like you consider it as your families. Maybe it's okay. I can to all the times be with there is among, for example, these idioms I will tell you. And then some people say, okay, next year, next month, because I'm near there. So. And then it's like a kind of the drive into Dharma. It's like laziness, postpone. and according to too much kind of close. For example, in Central Tibet, in the Lhasa, there are many people, almost they never visited this Jowo, Lhasa, these statues. And in all the Tibetan areas, even at least that 1 year, they need to go to there, visit these statues, Jowos, Buddha statues. And most Tibetan people, they love this. But near the center in Lhasa, this you can go to maybe by feet, maybe 10 minutes there. What they think, I'm near there, is it just okay? Tomorrow, no, it's okay. Next week, next month. Only to postpone. Certainly, body is collapsed and sick. Now you cannot move. You are going to die. Very bad. I didn't visit the statues, but whole your life living there, but you never see like that. Therefore, sometimes when we be the great master and like kind of the study, it's like times you do not lose your times. Really, it's taking the opportunity, side, like says, to enhance or the embrace it. This like to taking care of your times need to study. With when you have this kind of opportunity, that is a very important message. But very important message, but also very important coffee and tea. Or a little bit too late. What we can to start is like a 9:45. Okay, la. 11:15. Just 11:15. Shut up, ism, okay? 11:15. Okay, now it's 11:15. 11:15. 11:45 we can to start. Do you understand? 11:45 we need to start. Do you speak English? Some. And then we start 11:45. Some start. 11:15. Now you got it.